Namaste and welcome to this exciting episode of Sattology, debunking mythology. Sattology means science of truth or study of truth. Opposite of that is mythology, which means science or study of fake lie or imagination. Never call Ramayana and Mahabharata as mythology, whatever you say it, depending on who is saying it. It comes from the two words, myth, which is Sanskrit word, and logos, which is the Latin or Greek origin. And you combine them for etymological reasons, you have to add O, mythology, because it has to follow the second last syllable of the word. So mythology means science or study of fake lie or imagination. Opposite of that is Sattology, which is comes from Satadhatu, Sanskrit Satadhatu. And you combine with logos, it becomes study or science of truth. Or so when we call Ramayana and Mahabharata as mythology, you're actually telling everybody that your culture is fake, your history is fake. Try calling Bible as mythology or Islam or Quran as mythology. You will be shocked to know the reaction. So I will advise universities also not to single out only Hindu culture or ancient native culture of USA or South America or Europe as mythology. So with that, we'll begin. Today is a very important show, is how to harness the power of desires, Ichha Shakti, how to use Ichha Shakti in a proper way. A very famous author, a TV commentator of India, and also a practitioner of Sanatan Dharma. Let us welcome Sri RBS Mani.
Welcome. Namaskar. Thank you very much. I feel honored to be with my good friend Aditya.
It's my honor. It's my honor. And people must read his book. And there's one on Hindu terror, another one is deception. And also, there are many videos of his. We have a playlist of Sri RBS Mani on our channel. You can watch other playlist videos also. So one question comes in when you talk about the youth of today, and it's a common problem all over the world, driven by artificial intelligence now, and also by cell phones, hand devices, where people want to get everything on their fingertips and people don't know what to do with it. So they get satisfied easily, but they don't know how to put those things in action. So before we dwell into this matter, I would like to know the term for people who are watching for the first time. Is called Ichha Shakti, or the power of desire. So tell me, how powerful are desires before we begin with the Ichha Shakti?
Basically, I've explained the concept of Shakti on my previous videos and also how Shakti manifests herself in three forms: Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. Kriya Shakti is the power of Kara. Kara also means hand, but Kara also means work. Kara also means hard work, rigor. Jnana Shakti is the power of knowledge. But underlying these things, the very basis of this is Ichha Shakti, the power of willingness, power of willing to do or the desire to do something. That is Ichha Shakti. How do we harness it? First thing is you have to accept that power. You have to get that power internally very strong. Yoga is one of the Hatha Yoga of Patanjali is one of the best ways of it, but yes, it can give you that level of concentration, that power, to commitment, because it says Bhavani Shankaram Vande Shraddha Vishwasha. Shraddha Vishwasha. Shraddha means commitment, Vishwas means belief. If you have believe in, you must have seen many people say, believe in yourself. That is Vishwasa. And Shraddha is the commitment. So Ichha Shakti can be developed and harnessed. First, we have to acquire that Ichha Shakti. So that can happen only through sheer concentration, sheer commitment and belief. Self-belief. The self-belief, the confidence is very, very important. That yes, I can climb the Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world. That Incha Shakti, you have to be repeatedly saying that. You must have seen many sportsmen psyching up themselves. I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll catch, I will clear 100 meters in 41 seconds and all. Internally, this is. That is how some people call it pumping up. They develop their Isha Shakti like that. Of course, along with that, they also do the Kriya Shakti of practice. But this Isha Shakti is the very, very underlying factor. And he knows. So that is very, very fundamental to students, people who want to do other things also, including, may I tell you that if you want to, if a couple wants to get a children also, for that the basic thing is Icha Shakti has to be there.
No,
Icha,
if I put in the today's context, people's ichha, shakti, or desire, power of desire is limited to propaganda. Like, for example, our movies show a wrong type of desires to be developed. And I'm talking about Hollywood as well as Indian film
Bollywood.
industry or any other industry. There are many film industries in the world. There are Mexican film industry, there is a European film industry, but they all follow a common theme and they all want to see. So I'll give some examples. Hollywood movies show what they show to the youth is to desire to, like, they show American hero saving the world. Now, yesterday, one report came out that due to American wars, more than 20 million people have been killed directly or indirectly across the world since 1991. And after that, we have seen debacles that the American GI Joes landing all over the world, saving the world. So American youth get the desire to join that and do it. And when they join the armed forces, they come back in a trauma because what they were told and what was the reality was two different things. They were told to go and invade a land and bring peace and democracy over there. But when they go there, they actually find out the reason was oil, reason was some geopolitics or something else, and which conflicts with their ideals, and they become mentally distraught, I would say, to put it very mildly. And a lot more issues happen here. If I look at the youth of India, they have been told that the movies of India still showing that the best places in the world are in Europe and USA, not in India. And whereas the yoga movement in the world brings people to Rishikesh, Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, and Mysore, Kerala, and all these places, Tamil Nadu, temples of Tamil Nadu, beautiful places. And so there are two different things going on. In the East, the propaganda, Western propaganda is that we have everything. In the West, the propaganda is we are kings. But the second propaganda that if you want to find the truth, go to India or Thailand or some Cambodia or any of those Hindu countries. So tell me, this is the conflict goes on. So the Eastern countries want to become Western youth oriented, and the Western youth want to come to India, and there is a conflict all over the place in that
See,
context.
let us not get into propaganda war. So basically, my advice to children, my advice to the viewers here, everybody. First thing is, let us not get into propaganda. For harnessing the Icha Shakti, you write a mission statement and you say Uddeshya. My Uddeshya, what will be my objective, the statement. And that Uddeshya should be in sync with the Sanatana, the Dharma. That is what is called Anyadya Shuklam, the Shukla Uddeshya, the purity of thought, the mind. Please develop that. That is the fundamental to having and harnessing higher Icha Shakti. I explained to you earlier also that, say, for example, Icha Shakti is a power, like money power, this is also a power. So like brain power, this is also a power. If the brain power or my memory power has to be really used, it should be, if it is used to good, positive, Shankaroti iti Shankara, for the Shiva, for the Kalyana, for the welfare of the world, that brain power will be harnessed and more achievements will come. At the same way, if the money power you have is harnessed for the larger good of the universe, it will certainly have better impact. That's where I recollect one of my gurus was one Professor Reginald Revens. He was a nuclear scientist, and I had met him personally and taken his blessings around 30 years back when I was a student of University of Manchester. He was living in a place called Altrincham, the suburb of Manchester, and he had personally invited me. And he was a nuclear scientist who turned into a humanist, and is one of the celebrated books is Action Learning, the right to ask the right questions. Develop the knack or develop the power to ask the right questions. What I am doing, my kriya, is the kriya is on the righteous path? Is it good for me? Because he quit being a nuclear scientist because it was used for destructive purposes, not for. He said, I don't want my brain to be used for something not which can destroy the universe. So I take that example, Professor Reginald Revans is a beautiful book he has written. So we come back to that. That type of a person, we also, when we create a desire, when we create a willingness, we want to develop that desire, reinforce that desire. Before that, let us ask this question. Is my desire right or wrong? Will it serve the humanity? I have many friends who are lawyers, and I counsel them also on that. And because I am a dispute resolution specialist, but basically they grow out of lawyers, and most of the lawyers they are more bothered about the fees. At the end of the day, that should not be the intention. That was not the intention of the law. Law is the legal advisor's objective should be to get his client the righteous path, show the righteous path and the justice path to the client. A doctor should also be like that. Everybody, basically the calibration of the desire, the underlying Ichha Shakti has to be very, very sound to really harness, develop, increase your power of desire. If the objective is not pious, you are creating a Shakti which could destroy your own self in the longer run, or your own power in the longer run. So that is where is the genesis. The Ichha Shakti has to be related to what is the Ichha, what is the desire, what is the will, what do I will to get it. And that is the reason the Anyadya Shuklam quoted from Yajurveda comes in, Krishna Yajurveda. Aruna Prashna Vidanena Anyada. Now, Shakti. Shakti is also, they say, don't overstate. Yata Shaktitva, whatever is my power, at the current status in a present given circumstances, let me act within the limit of my power. To get more and more Ichha Shakti, don't take a huge loan, go to some Harvard or Stanford, educate yourself that yes, this will, because Ichha Shakti cannot be taught in course. It has to come from inside. And you can acquire a degree, but whether you will really improve yourself by harnessing your Ichha Shakti, that's $1 million question.
So American universities are the place.
I'm not.
Yes.
Not necessarily any university, whether it is a Wollongong University in Sydney or whether Oxford or Cambridge or American Harvard or Stanford or Yale. People spend money only for this purpose. Go through the assignments, go through the essays, submissions, thesis, project, everything they will do. But at the end of the day, do they develop that Ichha Shakti?
So what are the key elements of Ichha Shakti? What are the things they need to focus on?
Basically, do capacity building first. The capacity building comes through, for example, as you said, Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga, no, it is not a simple movement of physical parts, body parts. It has an interlock linkage. The integrated linkage, it has it with your breathing, your nadi, your cycle, Ashtachakra, Navadvara. It cleanses everything and it aligns them everything. It aligns them with everything. Now I take you to Shankaracharya. He says, Samprapte Vivek karne, nahi nahi rakshati dakram karni. See, this rote learning will not give you. It is actually the Padago Bindam Padago. So the chanting, the words you utter. For example, we have already spoken about the 33 vertebrae and the 33 consonants, how they one-to-one have one-to-one correspondence. Similarly, you have Shiva, Rama, Krishna, all these things create a particular set of stress in your vertebrae, which gives a positivity to your first body, cleansing your body, cleansing your Ashtachakra Navadvara. Then it raises itself with reinforced repetition of these type of chanting. This is an apart from your Kriya Shakti, academic work or whatever you are pursuing. These are all additionalities. Whether you say Shiva or Govinda or Krishna or Rama, do it at least for 100 times. Whatever you fix the time. Raise it so that next level it goes when it goes to your mental capacity. That is where the capacity building really happens. And further, when you reinforce practice you conduct the real practice of chanting, doing this japa, whatever you call it, japa, mantra shakti, then you raise to a level where the ecosystem around you, people call it tejas, people call it, chanting and developing yourself is ojas. So tejas, people call it halo in English. That will develop. So these are all done, and especially if it is done during the Sandhya period. Sandhya means meeting of the two times. Sandhya simply means a fusion. And during the fusion period of the two kalas, if you do that, because fusion means if a fuse can electrify your whole house, nuclear fusion between the two molecules can develop so much energy. During Sandhya, enormous energy is emitted. Try this, you will partake of the Sandhya Shakti, which the capacity of which you may not even know at this stage. But when you walk through the path, you will know that. That way the Icha Shakti develops. Icha Shakti develops, and thereafter the roads get cleared. You may say that why the road is clear, but it is in your internal capacity to overcome the challenges on the road. You feel that it was a very easy task. For that, you have to develop the Icha Shakti. So that is very important. And every person talking of positive thinking also says that. So I said about the Anyadya Shakti, Yatha Shakti. These are all two pillars to develop Icha Shakti. You don't run the marathon. If you don't run the marathon on the first day, you have to develop a willpower. The 42 kilometers or 26 miles is over a period of time. So that is the reason today your capacity is only 3 kilometers. Start with that. Endurance comes. Develop your Icha Shakti. And that endurance is directly, it's a couple. Endurance gives you Icha Shakti gives you endurance, so you have to keep on multiplying each of them. So this is the way Icha Shakti is developed. And you have your favorite God, it could be even whomsoever you like, but take the help of that, chant his name. As I say, Ganesha Icha, you could be saying Hari Icha, especially while walking or while working hard and all that, you can. So these are all very simple steps I am trying to guide you.
In the Yoga Sutra, Yogas Chitta Vritti Chitta Nirodhascha. So the yoga is the art of vritti and then chitta.
Pros- prosperity and
Stop.
highest level. Stop.
Vritti, chitta, nirodhascha, like stopping. Because the
Stopping.
vrittis, there are five vrittis who act under the mind. Chitta is called
Right.
mind in Sanskrit. So where under the chitta there are five vrittis who are working, and all those five vritti are the ones that pramad, viparyaya, vikalpa, nidra. There are four, five vrittis. Uh, pramad, viparyaya, vikalpa, and
Nidra.
nidra, and
Nidra and the fifth one is,
fifth one is that's what I'm saying.
I'm just forgetting it. Like,
Vritti, yeah, okay. The five there, I'll just remind you because this is a live recording and I'll come back to you on that. So there are
sure, sure.
five vrittis are there. And in the five vritti, they propel us in smriti. Fifth is smriti.
That is Smarana Shakti. Smarana Shakti.
Smriti. Yeah, these are the five vrittis for which we need to focus on. Viparya, alternative, vikalpa, viparya,
Solution.
solution, or it's also called the 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 new vision vikalpa.
New vision. Next
And
step or whatever.
pramad is where the mind is working on pramad, very scientific. Pratyaksha, anuman, agama.
Real. Anumudana.
And then you have nidra, which is nidra vritti is also very important. It's not sleep; it's like the dormancy
State of,
of your
state of,
indriya.
exactly.
And
State of restoration.
and smriti, we all know that it's a memory, but it has to be developed. Now, these are the five vritti. This is the yoga science works on this.
Yes,
All
almost that. All these things which I have told you are basically relatable to this.
relatable. Like if
Relatable.
you do yoga, then you have to work on controlling your vritti, then mind becomes peaceful. And then you start acting on it. And you talk about capacity building. Capacity building, like just like if you want to have good digestion, if you want to have good digestion, then you need to develop a hunger for it, and then you can have
Right.
good digestion. So if we discuss from the yoga science perspective, so today people are far away from actual knowing the science, and people read my book
Exactly.
Transcending the Mind, in which I've written in detail on all these aspects. But people are far away. These things are not taught. And without this, people want to become scientists, economics, and researchers, and they
That's
don't
what
know
I
the
see.
basic things. So there is no, without yoga science, there is no concept of the human cannot develop further capacity, like you mentioned just now. So, so people do not know when they people do not know these five vritti, which on which they have to work on. Whether you do yoga sadhana, you do mantra japa, if these five you are not trying to control, then nothing else will be successful. Gyan is a second stage now.
Yeah, Jnana is the second stage. Icha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, third stage.
Correct.
Kriya is the second stage.
And Gyan doesn't mean
Kriya
knowledge
is
here. Gyan doesn't mean knowledge. Gyan means
beyond that. Is something understanding, perception, etc. Your
so,
thinking, everything comes from that Jnana Shakti.
so when these basic building blocks are missing, how can people develop the capacity?
Karma, Kriya Shakti, and later on walk up to the Jnana Shakti.
Mm. So how can people can build capacity? Like how can they can have a desire for a desire?
But that is where I said yoga is one of the vikalpa you suggested, one of the roadmap you suggested. But yoga under a proper guru, because what happens is people watch videos and try attempt things without the alignment of breathing along with the movement of the bodily parts. It has to be in a very systematic, rhythmatic way. Only then then thereafter over a period of the you have to chart the progress, whether I am really progressing or I am just going through the motion every day like any other exercise. So that is the reason some sort of a some sort of a stat is required, some sort of a person, call him guru, call him yoga guru, or whatever it is. Somebody and your own breathing styles, everything, because over a period of time we might have developed so many things unconsciously which are not very appropriate for this development of capacity. Those remedies have to be gone through and thereafter start depending upon this We do not know unconsciously. Maybe even walking style may not be properly yogic, and it may be creating a. It may be creating, as you said. That's what I said when you want people to be scientists and economists and naval chief and all that. Basically, that is it, because it's a very, very academic perception. On the contrary, now and number two is the Shakti also comes through. When you say chanting, also I said, you are right, chanting. Along with chanting, if you recollect, Aditya, in the old days, people whiling away the time, if you write Ram Ram or Shiva Shiva or Shakti, Om Shakti in the notebooks or wherever they could find. Do you recollect that? Eh?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. The reason is Kara. See, if your mind also has to be there, it also gets aligned with your hand will do only good things. Samasya karya hai. Samridhya karya hai. Positive things only will be done by you as far as possible, unless and until compulsive circumstance. So, if a doctor is treating a patient, he will not face failures. These are all small things which we have lost out, but now I'm also trying to revive with young children, like a 5-year-old or 7-year-old. I ask the mother, just ask your child to write 11 times Ram Ram. In fact, I will show you some, I'll share some photograph of my advice to Dr. Mahendra, our common friend. His daughter has started, 4-year-old. So these are all things, and the longer, see, they will develop the Icha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana, very gradually, if it is, as they say, nanotechnology matter. It is something like that. At that level, if we are able to introduce to the children, of course, now this is intended for university students. They can still start it. This is supposed to be internal, but as I would also call it regional revolt, everything has to be begun from a very embryonic stage. He used to say, so that you use your science for positive things to develop a medicine that is better, but don't use your scientific knowledge for destruction. So this is the desire. So everything, all of them are integrated. I highly respect that man, the original Revan, but I'm just telling you, this is the way it is. Upbringing side, all these things, small steps we start. Wherever, because whichever area of the world you are, whichever region of the world you are living, as you said, it was all present. It is a Sanatana Dharma, it is eternal Dharma, it is universal. You have established about the footprints of Ramayana in South America also. You have personally done your research and established. Because those things were itihasa, thus indeed happened. Iti means thus, iti means it happened, indeed happened, itihasa. So that is the meaning of itihasa. That is the reason when you said, I wanted to tell that, to open with that only. So Icha Shakti is also something we have to really see. You have developed your Icha Shakti. So other factors also align with that for you to fulfill your Icha Shakti. If you have the Icha Shakti, and that is Icha Shakti at the individual level.
So I'll bring another point. I'll bring another point here. Like in the world of artificial intelligence, people are cheating the exams. People are cheating the writing skills. In the world of artificial intelligence, they are creating artificial images. Like one of the most common images which was created by the Hindus was Krishna. They wanted to see how Krishna looked like. And artificial intelligence through the image which they thought looks like Krishna, which based on his data. Some people did that for Jesus. Some people even try to do that for Muhammad also. So now I'm just saying that how this new paradigm of information at your fingertips is coming to you. Like you don't have to even think about replying a letter. You can dictate something to an AI bot and it's going to throw up a data which you can copy paste in your exam and just write it over there or fulfill your desire. But and so there, what happens is now it's an easy way out. Instead of doing yoga and controlling your mind and controlling your vritti, and then you are trying to see things as they are. You are trying to get information on the fingertips. So what happens to the Ichha Shakti today, or capacity building, from the perspective of today's technologies, or which are called Kalanemi, or whatever you may call them?
Perfectly right question. That's the reason basically he will get good grades. A person using a AI chatbot may get a beautiful grades in the, but has he really learned what is the purpose of going? I have not gone to any university to just get a degree or my good grades. You have to learn. That should be the Ichha Shakti itself. So you say, I want to learn how to manage human resources in a company. But because see they are all integrated with the attempt to use this, harness the whatever grade they have in a future opportunity. Let us forget about it. Let us see, earlier times the people used to take education to learn, enrich themselves, not to get good grades. Good grades were irrelevant. Here it is all about competition, it is all about, that is where please stop. Take a look. What do I want to achieve? I want to achieve simply a degree from Berkeley, degree from Stanford, degree from Yale, or should I want to learn thoroughly? I will go through the academic rigor. I should make a paper which is really path-breaking. I should bring, that should be the purpose of that if you are going in for higher education. If you are going to, if you are trying to simply working toward good grades, that's a different story altogether. But Ichha Shakti has to be there, basically harnessed with a proper, I said the objective. Objective should be pious, Anyadhya Shuklam, clean. I have come into this world, do I contribute anything for my brothers and sisters who are with me in the world? So that should be the concept. About your image of Krishna also, because people do not know the Bala Krishna, or people do not know the Gita Krishna or whatever it is. See, they have been given an image of it, and AI will give you the image, and that's the way it is. Teach them the fundamentals. Krishna is Vasudeva. Vasu means earth, Deva means protector. He has to, whenever there is some problem, not only today, not only in the Mahabharata, not only in Kurukshetra, he has shown his role in every time when it's challenging, when the systems and processes of the nature, Sanatana Dharma has come to some sort of a vitiation or a challenge to the entire Mahabharata, the entire Krishna Avatara. So I would rather say, let them read Mahabharata or Narayana Sukta or Narayana Upanishad, try to learn it. That gives you, that's a much better management treatise of meeting challenges than whether it is Noel Tishy or Michael Porter or Philip Porter or whatever.
You know, like in a long-term investment, the real challenge is not overcoming the current challenges. The real challenge is to solve the problems of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, birth, death, old age, and disease. That's a real goal for a human life. And
Exactly.
and if you fall away from that goal, then you may attain it's just like, either you win a match or you play one ball properly in cricket, or if you're playing baseball, the same goal goes in, or if you're just scoring one goal or winning the match, you get your team when
Addiction.
So
It is like addiction. It is like addiction. I sleep one day after taking a drug and live in a tranquility, or if I have a healthy life for 100 years contributing to the humanity. It's simple like that.
yeah, so the yoga solutions or shastra are not meant for temporary solutions. If you are reading the shastra for just day to day winning the victory, then you will actually not attain it. But if you focus on the long term vision, then you'll attain all the small successes also. It's just like if you play to win a match, you'll also play better in the game because you're playing for some other bigger goal of life. coming to one last question, like if you look at Bhagavad Puran and other books also, and we are again still on the topic of Ichha Shakti, because I see a lot of these searches going on the artificial intelligence. People are trying to find out their heroes, how they look like. And if you want to see the image of Sri Ram, I would say read Valmiki Ramayana. Ram will be present in front of your eyes. You can see them. You can actually visualize them. Or Ramcharitmanas or any other Ramayana version that you like to read. If proper ones, not the Ravana Leela, which people nowadays read also some parts of the world. If you read Mahabharata or Bhagavad Puran, you'll see the exact picture of Krishna coming to you in front of your eyes. And these things AI cannot produce. So in this today's world, if the solution you are talking about, to develop proper Shakti also needs proper guidance. People think that they don't need a guru, they don't need a teacher. In fact, if their mothers were not there, they won't be speaking any language also. They can't write also. So mother
Beautiful.
was the first guru. So now tell me, in today's world, when people say, I don't need a guru, I don't need a teacher, I can find out myself, how intelligent is the choice?
I won't say very, I won't say it's very great. A guru actually, as you said, the mother is the first guru. Mother is also the first Annapurni. She is your feeder, first feeder, right from your womb. So at some point, it is not like that I know I'm separating my kitchen and I will cook for myself and all that. But in Vidya, it is not like that. In the pursuit of Vidya, in pursuit of larger goals of life, you really need to have a guru for hand holding, recalibration, evaluation, assessments. For everything, he is like a third eye to you. He's like a third eye to you, Upanayana. They call it. When the brahmacharya takes place, it is also called Upanayana. Upanayana means third eye, additional eye. So that is the way you have to treat him. He is going to be your third eye accomplishing these functions. So that is how we have to see it, learn it. And Guru also helps you in, see, basically what is Mahadeva, what is state of Mahadeva. Moha and Aham, if you conquer them, that is the state of Mahadeva. A Guru helps you in that. Unnecessary desires are simply eliminated in your process of learning, in your process of raising yourself for the larger benefit of humanity, kalyana of humanity, welfare of humanity or welfare of the universe. And aham, the ego factor is also taken. And that is the reason. About Ramayana also, you said not many people know. I have been told. Ramayana actually, again, what Krishna said in Dwapar was right, that Sambhavami Yugena. But even in Ramayana, there was an issue. There were challenges, and he really had to be Purusha Sukta, means the code under which the human living has to live. Guru helps you in that. In that also, in that character, Rama lived by the example. He was the avatara was for Purusha Sukta. That is the reason he is known Purushottama, Purusha Uttama. Maryada, the proper Maryada Purushottama. Rama is also known by that. This is the emphasis on that. I am giving the Purusha Uttama, I give you that, is the highest level of human existence in Avatara. And that level, Rama also had to take over that level. Lama also had two gurus, Vishwamitra and Vasishtha. So, that is the way you have to, they teach you, walk through the entire thing to achieve that the highest level of conduct. That level of conduct we should also strive to achieve. But at the same time, he had a lot of challenges. In fact, he faced more challenges the entire lifetime. But the righteous Uttama, the Purushasya Uttama, the righteous path, he never flinched from that. The highest course of justice, the righteousness, justice, Nyaya, similarly, and the Kalyana of the universe, he never flinched from that. Similarly, even it is not, see, basically Mahabharata is generally people take it as only what happened in Kurukshetra and the Bhagavad Gita. You see, you read the Mahabharata wholly, every place there are, whenever challenges have been there, whether it is Kamsavadana or subsequent places also, the Avatara has, that is the reason I said that is a, actually if you read the full Mahabharata, it's a management treatise. Things you can visualize and cover up for that. There could be no other management fellow can teach you so much than what has been. And it really happened. He walked on the earth, Krishna.
See, the thing is, like,
So,
I'll just one add to this what you're saying, and we'll wrap up the show. The solutions you're talking about, the solution which you said that through personal swadhyay or personal serious study, you start building the capacity or ichha, so that you can work on better path. And the second is the way to build these capacities is to focus internally. That's what you said, internally. And the third is have good guides. Don't use gurus for showing that yes, you have this great guru, but you're not following anything. And our books are not just management lessons. These are built on, like, for example, you don't call your mother as a management guru. No, she is managing everything, but you don't call her a management guru or some management lesson. You serve your mother. You take care of her when you need to. And when she needs to be taken care, you do that. You reciprocate. Similarly, like our books and scriptures, like Ramayana and Mahabharata, these are the most famous and one of the most complete books on spirituality and culture. If you focus on those books, do not read those books just for management lessons or something, because it's not going to help you build ichha shakti. Just like your parents, you don't you don't respect your father and mother because they're giving you some management lessons. You respect your father and mother because they're father and mother. There is nothing more to it. Your father and mother can be a big person socially, but at home they are in. That's it. You have that person. So with that, last few words, and we'll wrap up the show, please.
namaskar.
Please tell if you want. Yes, sir. Yes.
That's the reason I said it has to be integrated. First, you don't develop your Shakti. Then the capacity building, which we spoke about. Then basically read it, you familiarize yourself with the great books you have quoted like Ramayana, Mahabharata. And although it is not just a book, just try to learn it through several experiences. As our friends said, experiential learning. I've talked about Professor Rajendra many times. Action learning. See, you can also go through the same process of, see, maybe your grandmother, your mothers might have even also recited Ramayana for you. Compare it with what is written. Challenges, how the challenges were handled without any collateral damage. That's a very, very, even in Mahabharata, whether even in Kurukshetra, the collateral damages were minimal. At the same time, where a restlessness was required, it was there. It was for the larger benefit, dharma sansthapanachaya sambhavami. To establish order, to establish the processes, systems and processes which had been challenged. He said, Bhavami. Bhava means exist. He did not take a birth and jump. Somebody existed. We even, you can put yourself in your role, in the role, and say that this is a challenge. How do I solve it? Think like that. And I do not want these core errors. Like slowly, it may be very small things initially, but over a period of time you will develop. It is like, I would say Ramayana, the ultimate sukta of Purusha, the human behavior, conduct, and this Bhagavad Gita, all this should be more, apart from reading, try to practice in your own small way, related, is my succor, is my panacea to the challenge, is my response to the challenge, in alignment with Ramayana. Thus, in terms of conduct, is it maybe in the current age and state you may find it very, very, very unique, but try to do that. Try to ask that question. How am I wrestling? Will it create more damage? Is it for the larger kalyana? What is this type of things you start doing naturally, whether you are in a science lab or you are in the mathematics class or whether you are in the management, just go back and check yourself. Okay, I am suggesting a solution. Long term, what will be, say, as he already said that I have to become at this level, not take a degree and walk away. Number two is, what will be the impact? Does it have alignment? Does my, does these books, does these stories of Ramayana, does these itihasa of Ramayana and Mahabharata has any corresponding provision permitting this? Does it proscribe it? These are all simple questions. Right from the fourth or fifth class, you start asking this question to your own self, no third party. And as you said, a guru, I said, is a third eye. Use a guru, he will guide you. A good guru, not famous guru. A good guru, he will handhold you, calibrate you, correct you wherever it is required, and he will also give you suggestions and way. He will give you simulations to try. So there are so many ways he can help, and that is what I want to say. This, so all these things have to be put in a piece of paper and then started acting upon.
I'll just add here,
Right.
if you're not a good student, then you can't get a good guru also. If you're not sincere, you can't get a good guru. So
Ganesh,
it's a both ways it works, you know. So you just can't select a guru, and usually gurus also select you. If you have an,
Ganesh,
if you look at the history, then Chanakya chose Chandragupta because he was qualified. He was already pre-qualified. And so both ways. So people usually say, oh, I don't have a guru, I don't see any guru in the world, because you are not qualified to get a guru and you don't know who is a guru. So anyway, with that, these are many ways you must have gotten some idea in this discussion how to build the Ichha Shakti, or the power of desire. And I personally don't like motivational talks, because I like to talk with the references, and without Shastric references, no motivation talk is important. So, and it is not a motivation talk. Otherwise, I'll be doing the same funny thing as should, which doesn't work in Shastra, because Shastra requires patratva on both sides. Student also needs to be qualified. So it's a different way of instructions, not the modern style, the way people they talk about. So with that, we'll end this episode. Thank you so much for joining. Do
thank you.
like, share, subscribe, and tell everyone about it. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you. Thank you.